I'm Desiree, and if you don't know me already, I'm a growth strategist at Shopify, and we love working with SheEO and startups. If you don't know already, Shopify is an e-commerce platform to help entrepreneurs sell online and in person. We partner for impact and love supporting our founders. And today we have Lee of Skwalwen and Brianne of Nada Grocers. And I think what we're going to talk about today is kind of the digital by default, how the masses have pivoted to digital sales and connections, and kind of dive into how the pandemic has changed your businesses and how you've navigated the digital world and your business as we have these new digital tactics to just keep you thriving through this new landscape. So I'd love for, maybe I'll start with you, Lee, if you could tell me about yourself, your business, and what you love about being a part of the SheEO community.
Sure. Hasqual Lee Joseph Queensna Timachan Tala Skooma Shulchomeo, Aun Wanoxton Skwalwen Eochtin Sequatal. I just introduced myself in my Squamish or Squamish language. My name is Lee Joseph. I'm from the Squamish First Nation, and I'm so happy to be here today. I'm the founder of Skwalwen Botanicals, which is an Indigenous plant-based skincare brand based in my home territory of Squamish in British Columbia. And I'm so grateful. My heart is just bursting today. Being part of the SheEO community has been an incredible path. It's an incredible community, and that's so meaningful in this year where, we're all connecting in at a distance. And so just so happy to be here. Maybe I'll leave it there for now.
Perfect. Brianne, would you like to tell us about yourself and your business and what you love about SheEO's community?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Brianne. I'm calling in from Vancouver, the unceded territory of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam First Nations. Lee, so excited to see a fellow BC venture on here. We're so excited to chat with you. Nada is a package-free grocery store and delivery service based in East Vancouver. So we're delivering throughout the greater Vancouver area, expanding to a couple different neighborhoods as we go. And our whole goal is to eliminate both food waste and plastic pollution from our supply chain. So we work really hard with local producers and makers to create a more just food system. We're supporting more than 150 small businesses, quite a few which are fellow SheEO companies as well. Nada is also a B Corporation, so we really do lead with social and environmental responsibility. And we work a lot through 1% for the Planet with a lot of grassroots environmental organizations. We are a brick and mortar retail store, pivoted very quickly at the beginning of the pandemic into the online space. Very, very much so with the help actually of Desiree and her team at Shopify for Startups through SheEO. So we've been really grateful for the support and excited to chat about that as well.
Great introductions, and I love working with you. So I think that's a great segue into what I kind of wanted to go over. When COVID hit a year ago now, and you kind of figured out it wasn't going to go away, what steps did you take to kind of adjust your business in the changing landscape? Whoever would like to go first, Lee, go ahead, maybe.
Sure, I can start. So it was pretty much right at the onset of COVID and the lockdown that my business, I noticed my e-commerce business really picking up. And it was just me at the time doing everything, wearing all the hats. And so the sort of, I guess it's sort of a mix of, it was like the uncertainty that we were all sort of living in, the uptick in my my online orders, and then also, myself sort of feeling like wanting to find ways to ground myself during that time. And I found that my business really offered me a chance to do that because it is the foundation of it is my cultural relationships with the land through building relationships with plants and through harvesting and just spending time outside. In Squamish, we consider plants to be relatives and relations. So, exploring those ways of connecting really helped me during that time because it was spring. I was starting to go out on the land harvesting with my kids. And one of the I guess a few things happened. I realized that I needed to start building a team. So doing that during COVID was challenging. But I've now built a team of 6 people, 2 of whom are working remotely, and then 4 are women from my Indigenous community. And we've found ways to navigate, getting support with everything from order fulfillment through to managing our growing wholesale program. And then I was on Shopify at the time, which I was, very grateful for, but basically it just gave me a chance to sort of pair that, grounding through my cultural connection with plants. And then I created a product line offering that, to me, it sort of, I guess, encapsulated the calming, mindful presence of being out on the land harvesting. And that was our most recent line, which is the Memps line. And it incorporates a lichen called Old Man's Beard, or in Squamish, it's Memps. And it's very highly antibacterial, antimicrobial, but it also is just so characteristic of the forests here in Squamish. And so I found myself visualizing, looking up and seeing the lichen hanging from the trees and blowing in the wind. And I instantly felt my, kind of my fight or flight reduce. And so I think that was probably one of the key things that happened during the pandemic, was turning to my business to find my own kind of grounding and then wanting to share that with a wider audience.
I love that. Yeah, it was definitely a time where we were all uneasy for a while. So I love that you turned to your business for that. And I know, Brianne, you really had to adjust your business too. And I'd love for you to share what steps you took.
Yeah, we definitely had to change things pretty quickly. It really is hard to believe it's been a year. I'm just seeing a lot of people commenting in the chat that SheEO was the last time that a lot of us were together in person. And that was the same for my co-founder, Allison, and I. And actually, as soon as we got back to Vancouver from Toronto, we were in quarantine because one of us had been sick. And so we really had to rely a lot on our in-store team to really help out and make a lot of adaptations on the fly. So for us, I think the biggest thing was really trying to focus on team communication, especially when the 2 of us couldn't be there in person. It's really hard sometimes to, you don't want to stress people out or pass on your stress to others, but you also want to keep everyone in the loop. So I think for us, it's been quite a learning process, especially in the last few months, to really figure out how much is enough communication, or how much is enough information to communicate versus how much can we kind of sort out on our own. And there have just been some really great habits and rituals as a company that we've implemented as a result of that. So we're regularly doing more team updates through something called the Nada Yada, which is a monthly newsletter that we're now sharing, and we have a whole bunch of folks contribute to. But yeah, from the operational side of things, it was definitely chaos for a few months. Our business, we have a focus on using upcycled packaging. So that's the thing that's really unique about us. We essentially take container donations from our community, we sanitize them, and we're able to reuse that packaging and keep it within our food system. That really is based on the idea that one of the best things that we can do for our planet is to keep things that already exist in reuse. And we had this model where customers leading up until COVID were able to come into our store and refill their own packages their own containers with food. But we had a lot of health and safety regulations, obviously, to navigate. And we were actually taking a lot of action before those things became policy. So we were really trying to be proactive, really trying to limit the interaction. We have, quite a large team of close to 30 frontline workers, really trying to do the best that we can to adapt and keep everyone safe. And we ultimately landed on a model where we did decide to pivot online very quickly, which was definitely hard. We have more than 1,000 products that we needed to digitize. a main focus of our company as well is a lot of the storytelling that goes with that. So it wasn't just a matter of posting products online. It was a matter of working with hundreds of suppliers to get information about their products, to take pictures. And as a result, we actually had to change the entire interior workings of our company as well. So everything from changing our point of sale system. So we did migrate to Shopify, which has been really great so far. We've been able to build quite a complex website using a lot of apps that you can just kind of plug and play. So we've had a lot of success with that. And yeah, it's been really fun to continue to work on that project as we go. Definitely a big learning curve, but for us, it's been a really wonderful opportunity as well. We're really lucky and very grateful to be working within the local food system. I think a lot of us have really seen, especially in the beginning of COVID, just how resilient a lot of our local supply chains have been compared to a lot of the global ones where a lot of supply was disrupted. We actually didn't have any supply chain issues at all, so we were able to continue dispensing food at the same rate that we were pre-COVID. But yeah, it's been a really fun project to digitize everything, and it's actually a really big opportunity for us now to get what we're doing to a much larger audience of people, which we continue to do through delivery.
Great. Yeah. I think COVID taught us to look more locally for products rather than overseas. So it's been a mind shift for a lot of people, consumers and founders as well. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, what was something that really surprised you the most about going digital? Maybe Lee, would you want to answer that?
Sure. I was just reflecting on this morning that, being like a mother to two young kids, being part of a community. I also, in another part of my life, I do community-based research on renewing the connection to cultural knowledge of plants, in foods and medicines. And so I recognize that, so much of the community that I've built and the opportunities that I've had to engage this year probably wouldn't have been possible, had things not moved so quickly into a digital space. And I know, like everything, the growing sort of pains of this last year, and of course, just it's been a huge year of change and shifting, and so I think just having the opportunity to build community in a digital space has been really essential, and SheEO has been a key part of that, and the Lift Collective that Tara Fraser and others are that she started in connection to SheEO, as well as the Fireweed Fellowship, which is a first Indigenous accelerator program that I'm a part of. All of those have been things that that I've been able to sort of dive into and just feel like I'm sharing stories and sharing my experiences, and that's been really, really essential. And like Brianne said too, storytelling is such a key part of my business, but first and foremost, just of my experience in the world. And I think that this year has really shown, the resonance that storytelling has, and the sort of, I think, desire to connect on that level has really been something that, it was a surprise because it's something that I just did from the outset, because that's kind of how I like to, I guess, interact. And so it's been really lovely to see how community has grown, through Skwalwen and through the ways that I've been able to engage with, business communities, and also my community directly related to Skwalwen.
That's beautiful. I love that you saw the need and then filled it by building community and getting those stories out there the best you could. I know with Nada, it was an in-person grocery store with a lot of interaction with your staff. Mm-hmm. What did you find the most challenging about pivoting your business to digital? I know storytelling is one, but I feel like even coming into your store, people interact with your employees to ask about products and how do they use these products. And I'm sure, Lee, you as well. How do you pivot to fulfilling those needs digitally?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we definitely had a lot of challenges from the logistics and operations side of things, especially using a model that relies on upcycled packaging. So we actually it was a process of trial and error for us. We tried quite a few different models to see what would work. It was really tricky because we ultimately, like, our customers would come into the store and would be filling products themselves, and they have the opportunity to browse and, kind of take a look at what's in different bins and ask questions. And it's not the easiest to replicate that online. And it's something that we're still really trying to learn, like this whole idea of merchandising and cross merchandising and making sure that we have enough information available for people online so that they can make an informed decision. Transparency is one of the biggest things that we're working on as a food company. Part of our mission is to connect people to food. It's really important for people to understand where their food comes from and how it's grown, and why it is worth supporting these organizations that are, growing regeneratively or sustainably, or really doing things differently. So it was definitely a challenge to consolidate and collect a lot of that information, but a really, really big opportunity as well. I think we were actually able to start sharing a lot more of that information. And to be honest, it was kind of the swift kick in the butt that we needed to collect all of it and finally get it online. It was something we'd been wanting to do for a long time, but it wasn't the highest priority, wasn't necessity. So kind of having no choice to do it was a really great way to get started. And I think a lot of those challenges, honestly, were really alleviated for us through the SheEO network. So Lee, that's why I'm so excited for you to be kind of thrown into this. The last year for us, we really have been just uplifted and supported along the way. And one of the first contacts that really helped us out was through one of the first venture calls that we had. Like a few folks were mentioning earlier today, a lot of the ventures from all around the world were getting on a phone call every week, right from that first week of March. And we'd often have an ask give session. And one of the first things I asked for was help to move online, and was connected to a SheEO activator named Laura Lee in Toronto. And she graciously offered her team up to help us move online. So they completely designed a new website for us, got us online, and we still continue to work with them. And it's been, just an incredible relationship. We love working with values aligned folks like that. And I think the realization that a lot of our challenges can be solved within this community is something that really keeps us going.
That is amazing. And we definitely love working with SheEO and helping as many female founders as we can. And such a special story. I think I was curious, have you thought about video selling? I know that's been kind of hot lately, where you can kind of interact with your customers through video connection. Have either of you tried that yet?
I haven't. I have some sort of video content, to capture, harvesting experiences or land-based experiences, but I haven't gotten into any kind of direct. Well, I guess I'll back up a step, because I feel this, because I was on Shopify, and so I was able to kind of build in that, build on the fact that I already had, my website and my Shopify space. That's been amazing this year. And now I'm kind of at the point where my team and I are going to start engaging with Shopify for startups and start to understand how we can, do some things to help increase, the guidance and the communication for our customers, because we're not, the previous year we'd done quite a few markets, and we were able to be, in person. People were trying the products, and then similarly at stores and whatnot, where we're stocked, there's varying regulations or rules around testers and things like that. So looking at ways to create more of an interactive experience for our customers to be able to understand, the product themselves, what the feel of it is, what the ingredients are, but also, one of the main goals is really an experiential an experiential one. So we really want to, embody that grounding and connection to the land, to feeling like the sun on your face, to, hearing the wind, that connection to place that that all of us share. We all have a memory that's connected to a special place on the land. I would, guess we all have a memory that's connected to a plant of some kind, whether that be a food, a medicine, a plant that grew in one of our, loved ones or relatives' gardens. And so I think that just having that, ability to communicate in that way, is really exciting. And I feel like we're just kind of at the point where we're looking at engaging more of those digital tools to do that.
Yeah,
I see the countdown.
It sounds like we're definitely it definitely sounds like we're in a similar place as well. Like video it's such an opportunity to engage at a more personal level with our customers. And for us, it's not so much video selling, but it's more like video education. So we are really focusing on educating our customers about our food system when they land on our website or engage with us on social media, and being able to do things like Instagram stories and videos, and even venturing into the TikTok world. We've started a YouTube channel with, a lot of folks in our community sharing what they're doing with the products that they purchase. There's a lot of really great content and a lot of really great stories that come through video. And it's something we're really excited to continue to dive into.
I love it. And I know we're a few seconds till we are done, but is there any tips you'd like to share with the audience on going digital? Maybe they're just figuring it out right now.
I think just like Brianne, like you said, there's an incredible opportunity to share your authentic self, your authentic story, and it is a place, to really come as you are and to not worry about the noise out there, but it is a place where you can meet your community, where you are, and I think that's been the main thing I've found with social media and the digital space.
Well, this has been so great getting to learn more about both of you and your social impact and everything for our world and making it a better place for our children. And I just love hearing about these special stories and businesses that are coming out of COVID and getting a much wider landscape than just locally, because now you can reach people globally being online. So thank you, everybody that joined in.